that you went with Patrice.
I dropped off my kids with 4 C's. Like
4 C's, mini buns in the top.
I'm not just saying it like washed and air dried 4 C's. Like no, all the shrinkage. And then I picked up my kids like this.
Face beat, hair dirty.
I know they be like,
it's called Black Girl Magic, okay?
Hi, I'm Patrice from P-Lens Photography.
And I'm Jocelyn from Moving Memories. How y'all doing?
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up? What's up? We back with another episode. Number 2. Can you believe it?
I know.
We doing this
as a dream.
So last time y'all got to learn a little bit more about me, but today we're gonna flip the tables. Find out what's going on. What's going on with P-Lens Photography?
Hey,
Tell us how you got started.
how did I get started?
When did it all start?
When did it all start?
Tell us.
So, I think if you ask me on the surface, I have one answer that I always tell.
Well, I won't eat. We digging.
That I always tell clients. So I'll start there.
We on the couch. I won't eat.
Do I need to lay back?
Yep. Write it down.
Yeah. So what's on my website and what I tell most people is that we lost my Nana years ago, and I didn't have one picture with her, like not one. And for her to be somebody that was like so special to me, I didn't like it. Like, so after that, I pushed for my family to like start taking family portraits. So I like booked some photographers, like and had them like just update and take some pictures of all of us, all of my immediate family. And that kind of started my interest in just like photography, I guess. But after like booking some photographers and like starting, this was like around the time that I was getting married, so I was looking for a photographer for that. And I was like figuring out like what's my aesthetic, like what do I want to go for when I'm booking these photographers. And I really couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. Like my wedding photographer is great, and the other photographers that we hired were great, but they just weren't like quite.
They weren't P-Lens.
They weren't quite what I wanted. So that sparked me kind of venturing out and trying it myself. Like, can I be that photographer that I'm looking for? And that's how it started. So yeah, it really started from my Nana. Her name is Pearl, so my full business name is Pearl's Lens Photography, but I go by P-Lens Photography, just to kind of pay homage to her. And then also my name starts with a P too, Patrice, so it just kind of makes sense. But yeah, so and if you knew my Nana, in her living room, when I say like from side all the way like down, there are pictures of all the grandkids, nieces, nephews, cousins, all like from childhood on. Like if you gave her a picture, it's going on her wall.
On the wall. I think that was every black grandma.
It's so many pictures in there. So I knew, like, I know if she was still here, she would like be like, yeah, girl,
you did it. You did that.
We love that.
We love that.
Another thing about my Nana and why I pay homage to her in my business is because she's always like seen me as a creative. Like nobody else like really saw me as a creative. Like I've always been into like writing, poems, art, like all the things ever since I was little. I've always been like naturally like smart or gifted, but that's where like my interest was always there in like arts and things like that. And that's where she picked up on that too. Like, so she planned her entire funeral. In her funeral, she wanted me to write a poem and say a poem. And because she knew I wrote poetry when I was little. Like, so just like little things like that, she's always like really like pushed me to be my most creative self, which I've always been. And that's one person in my family that I think like saw that.
Yeah.
Without even saying it, like now that she's gone, I can see, like I can look back and be like, yeah, she like really did.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew. Creatively, I've always like dabbled in a lot of different like creative things because it intrigues my mind more than math. So on a so in around about the time that I started photography too, this is on the deeper level. Around the same time that I was like starting my business, this is also the same time that I'm pregnant with Maddox. I just got married. Like so as I'm starting, a lot of transitions are happening at the time of me starting my business, and I think that that's intentional. If I think where my mind was at the time is like I needed to escape like all the transitions that were happening, and I needed something that was like just for me, and that felt like safe enough for me to like.
Yeah, that was your outlet.
Yes.
Nobody knew that was your little corner.
Yes. So I didn't like when I first started. I didn't even advertise it to like, you know, my Instagram, my personal Instagram, my anything. It was just like totally separate from my world because it was like a little. It was a lot of transitions happening. So like it was like something outside of being a wife and a mom and a new wife and a new mom, which was like it was a lot at one time. So I think that part of it too was a big piece of like why it happened when it happened, looking back. So yeah, I just said
last episode, God be orchestrating. He know what he be doing. He put it together. Like
he be in there.
Like we don't know what's going on, but he definitely has like everything put together.
And it's like too, at the same time when you like feel like you're far away from him, like it's the simple scripture, like all things work together for his good.
Yeah, not your good.
His, like every time.
Yeah.
So even if you're not pursuing him as intently as you should be, he's still pursuing you.
Yeah.
So
everything gonna draw back to him.
Okay.
He gonna use every situation.
Okay.
Even the current one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna leave it at okay. Since we were talking about new wife, new mom, talk how we get here, like being an entrepreneur, dealing with that, being a wife and being a mom. How did you navigate that?
I think, if I'm being honest, I'm still navigating it. Like I'm still figuring it out. What I realize is that there's just no perfect like remedy to this. Like it's. In a way, I always feel like I'm neglecting something or someone. Like it's just, it is what it is. Like I have to pick and choose and make the best decisions that I feel like I'm making for my family and for myself and for my husband and for my business. So every decision that I make, I have to like consider all of these things all the time. And sometimes I get it right and it works out great, and then sometimes I don't, and I have to readjust. So I'm always going to be like, I think I've just come to the realization that I'm always going to be like adjusting to what I need to. And that's okay. I think that comes with entrepreneurship. Yeah. And if you're not embracing that, it's going to drive you insane. It's going to drive you crazy. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not I clock out and go home and then
there's no clocking out.
There's no clocking out. So I'm always going to be adjusting. I'm already thinking about next year. Like, okay, my oldest is going to potentially start pre-K. And then
that's crazy.
I know. So she starts pre-K. Okay, what time does she need to be there?
Right.
And then what time does she get out of school?
Right.
Okay, now my youngest, what's he going to do? Is he going to be in the same school? Is he going to be there? Like, I'm already thinking about how everything will adjust around them and their schedule. Where's my husband going to be working? Is he still going to be working from home? Is he going to be working? I'm always adjusting.
Me anxious, and it's not me.
Yeah, I'm always going to be adjusting to everybody else.
Yeah.
And then, like, I have to just fall in line of what makes sense for myself and my business. And then also, like, how busy am I going to be? Am I going to be even busier next year?
Right.
Because this year was really busy for me.
Right.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that
Ooh.
everything is an adjustment, but to answer your question, I don't have it figured out. And I think that I'm just constantly going to be adjusting and trying my best
to do it. That's all you can ask for. That's all God wants from us.
My best.
Man, that's a lot, because I'm stressed listening to you talk about the schedule, and we ain't even here yet.
Yeah.
But I can see how parents get into that like spiral of things going down, because what you just said.
Correct.
I mean, Jesus.
Which I have to watch that too, because that can be dangerous of going on a spiral where you're just thinking about the kids and then you neglect yourself, you neglect your marriage and your household and the now. Like, if I'm always thinking about like the next thing that I have to do for them, which is hard sometimes because they're so young and still very dependent on me as a stay-at-home mom, but I still have to like consider the bigger picture, which is difficult.
Learning from her, like, I really like just seeing her. I tell her all the time, she is a great mom, great wife, great business owner, like everything. Like, I look up to her. She is amazing. I don't know how you do it. You do it.
I don't know.
How do you keep yourself grounded though? Like, what do you do?
I be going crazy every day.
But you gotta have like one moment you just like, I need. What do you do? That's like, I gotta come back. I'm gone. I need to come back.
Just prayer. I think that this season of my life of being a mom and wife and all the transitions that I've had has been lonely. But I feel like the loneliness is purposeful. I think I was like spiraling in postpartum depression at one point where it felt so lonely that I didn't have really anybody that could understand exactly what I was going through. Especially like the moms. Like, I feel for us moms that like went through the thick of it in COVID. Like true isolation.
Yeah, that was a
with
lot.
These two humans that you have to take care of, and you don't have you can't consider or lean on anybody else. So, but I think that isolation and loneliness was purposeful because now I've grown so much with my relationship with God and by and having that be central, so that when I need a moment, like I can take a step away, pray, get in the word, like hear something from him, and it'd be like, okay, let me
back in it. Yeah, that's good. Hey, for real, I am proud of you. Just she doing the thing, y'all. She just doing the thing.
I feel like
you're doing the thing, okay? Ain't no way I would be able to do that. That would be me. I tell her now. I said, like, when I get there, definitely, Patrice, the baby is on the floor, rolling. What do I do?
Just kind of figure it out. I think too, because I had my kids like so close in age, like I was kind of like that with my first, with Maddox, but I quickly had to get out of that because I had a second one coming. So it was just like, are y'all breathing?
I don't know how you did that either. And working?
Y'all breathing? All right, that's good.
And working full time.
Now that I don't know how I did.
You said that being a new mom, a new wife, you started praying a little bit more and reading your word a little bit more. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, that period of like feeling a little isolated, a little lonely, it was just necessary, I guess. It was either that or self-destruct. Like, I had two options, literally. Literally had two options. So I had, my kids are 18 months apart. So I had them back to back.
Insane.
Lots of transition. So like last year I went through therapy and we were talking about that, like how much transition we had. I got married, I got pregnant again, then we moved. My husband had 2 job changes,
Jeez.
And then, yeah, so like out of all of that, it was just that, and that was in a span of 3 years.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in a
wow.
span of 3 years, all of that happened.
God is good.
Okay.
God is good because she is still standing.
Yeah.
God
So
is good.
in 3 years, all of those transitions happened at one time,
Mm-hmm.
or not one time, but in the
In the span of that time.
in the span of that time, which isn't that long. And I was going through postpartum depression, and it was literally like, Lord, I can't take any more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any more. Like,
Yeah.
it was just so much. It felt so weighty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I can't either I self-destruct and like just continue on just
Yeah.
existing,
not living.
and not living, or I slowly, and it wasn't immediate for me. It was like, or I slowly like start handing things over to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So like it started with therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and then like starting to like feel like myself again.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was like coming out of my depression,
Mm-hmm.
postpartum depression. And mine was different. Like, I know a lot of moms are like, or you hear the word depression and it's like you stay in bed all day, or you're like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Mine was like, I have to be doing something
stuff.
at all times. So
Yeah.
I was like exhausted just every day. And sometimes I feel like that now, but I feel
But
like
you know how to catch
more
yourself
like
too.
myself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I didn't have a choice. And I would tell people, and people be like, how you doing? What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, I remember you used to say that. Yeah. I remember you told me you was going to therapy.
I'm like,
Life is sucks. Life sucks.
yeah. I would be honest with people and be like, yeah, I'm terrible. I'm here. Like, and people were like, didn't even know what to say. They're like, okay.
Because we're so used to just putting on this face of saying, oh, I'm good.
I'm
or
good.
everything's okay. I mean, everything is not okay, but everything will be okay.
How are you? Stressed?
Yes. Be honest.
Really? Stressed.
But see, sometimes I think people feel weird about saying that is because they don't think somebody will actually listen or actually care that they say that.
Yeah. It probably made people uncomfortable, but the point is that I didn't really have a choice in that moment. Or I did have a choice, but I chose...
You chose God.
I chose God. Like...
He's the way.
Yeah.
Truth
So
and the
I
light.
had to surrender things over to Him to start to feel like myself again.
Yeah.
You know, I was going through that, but like felt like it was just... Things were just happening.
Like it was going like this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, I can at least, like, feel my present moment.
That's
And
good.
it didn't feel like that at the time. So
That's good. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good conversation. Learn a little bit more about Pearl's Lens photography. I learned some new stuff today, too. Did not know she... I did not know you had all that going on. All right.